Hey, Dimensional here, and today I'm gonna color in some comic book pages. So if you've seen last week's video, it comes as no surprise that I am now pursuing this comic book project. Last week I made the line art for the three first pages of my comic, and I am now coloring them. Just before filming this video, I created a color palette in Clip Studio Paint, which you can see at the bottom left of the screen. And I just had a drawing I made of the two main characters, and I picked the colors and basically saved them so I could just reuse them easily. And then I just started to color in the base colors everywhere. Now I wanted this comic to have a very limited color palette, so there's basically purple, blue, some pink, and then I have some accent colors. I have some magenta and orange, and those will be some little touches here and there. And I'm gonna color in the characters with these colors and the background. At least that's what I'm gonna try to do, and I'll see if it works out or not. So now you can finally see Aislinn with color. And well, she's still as cute as ever, if you want my opinion. Now I drew Daigul in the third page and the people around him with some kinda historical clothing, but I decided that Aislinn would just be out of the lot, like she's a magical being, she doesn't need to be dressed accurately or anything, and I just wanted her to be hella cute. But yeah, I said accurate historical clothing, but I'm pretty sure the colors are completely off. I just want them to look nice and to create an atmosphere in my comic. And you just saw me coloring the eyes. Daigul's got the bright orange eyes, and Aislinn has the bright magenta eyes. And yep. So now the base colors of Daigul are down, and I have to color in the background characters mostly. So I just picked the shade of purple I chose for the background and choose different saturation and it's not I don't know, but different saturation and stuff to add some kind of contrast in the background. I just basically put different colors in the characters without really trying to make sense of them. Like, I don't know which part of the dress is supposed to be the darkest, or if there even was a rule for that. But I just wanted it to have some contrast, and I didn't want any similar color to touch one another. And well, I used the paint bucket tool for this, and it's kind of messy in a way, like it leaves some white spots all over the place. But I decided that for the background I didn't really care, and I just decided it would be it would be messy. That way it would really be different from the main element of the picture, which is Daigul. And you can see his colors are brighter because I put some purple and multiply layer of purple between him and the background characters, and then some white around him so it truly pops. I think I make it less visible. Yeah, right there. So it's not as bright. But yeah, my goal was to make him pop out from the background. Then I add some shadow. My usual shading style when I draw finished illustration is pretty painterly, I guess. I'm using the oil brush and I don't really blend things out, but it takes longer, I guess. So for this comic I decided that I would go with soft shading with the airbrush and well, basically gradients everywhere. And I start adding them to the background. I put them in the bottom and I basically frame the picture with the shadows. Like the background is not a flat color, it's a gradient and brighter in the middle where the head of the character is, and darker toward the edges. Now what I didn't mention in my last video, and I hope I'm correct, I'm not fully sure, but there's some kind of frame guidelines around the picture, and that's Clip Studio Paint that puts that there. And basically, if you print the comic, you won't be able to see the outer edge, and that's why it's kind of messy and I don't fully refine it. But I have no idea how to see what it would look like printed, so I still need to make some more research. But yeah, basically the frame, the larger frame around won't be visible in the finished product. So now that I'm done shading the third page, let's start on the first page. Why not? And I start by shading the eyes of Aislinn with the airbrush, like I said. And then I once again put some gradients to her, like some shadows around the eyes and just around the whole picture, and there you can see that my edges are very messy and I truly hope that they won't be visible later on. Then I once again outline my character in the lower pictures. So yeah, she pops out from the background, to which I will add a gradient later on apparently. And then I once again take my airbrush. I put a multiply layer over top of my coloring layer, and I use some dark purple for the shading, and then some very light purple on another layer, and to add some highlights, because I truly think that highlights are what brings a picture together, so I need to include those. Now I wanted the dreamcatcher to not be black, at least the thread part, so color it in the bright magenta. Is it magenta or pink? I have no idea. So yeah, this accent color. And then wanted the hands, the lower right, to actually be doing something. And my idea was some kind of magic circle or some kind of well, magical thing growing out of her hand. And I made her eyes kind of glow on the dreamcatcher, and that's when I add the gradients in the background. But yeah, she is a magical being and has magical powers. So here we can see them, although they will be more visible in the second page, which I am now doing. Since the main drawing of this page is on a larger scale than on the previous one, I didn't want to use the airbrush because it's just so slow when you put it in a big size. So yeah, I added in some colors in the background and then I blended them with a blending tool. And then I add some shadows to Aislinn. Very basic process, that's a word. a very basic process, basically the same as I did on the last page. But on this one, I decided that I was gonna put the moon behind her to frame her, so I can made it look like she was like the light was hitting her from behind. So basically, some light just all around her, not so much in the middle. And that's when I'm adding the glowing bits, the magical parts, and they're just going everywhere. And yeah, it makes me think of the movie, I have no idea what it's called in English, with the Guardians, Return of the Guardians. I think that's the movie, the animated movie. And there's the Sandman and just gives room to everyone with those golden threads. And I think that was kind of what I did, and I hope that's not plagiarism. But yeah, she's basically distributing dreams to people. And there's the moon behind her to make her face pop once again from the background to frame her and, well, to make it look good, I guess. And I also made sure to add some pink lighting on her, so you would see that the light in her eye, in her hands, is actually shining and projecting some reflection, I guess. I have no idea what I'm saying. But yeah, and finally, I wanted to add some stuff to the background, so I made some kind of buildings, I guess. Well, they're just rectangle, to which I added some gradients and some highlights, I guess. And then I added some orange blobs. Like, I didn't want it to be too detailed, and I still don't know how to draw windows on buildings from far away. Like, I don't know the style I want to put to that, so I just added some circles, I guess. And then I had some highlights, and her sleeves, her puff sleeves are actually supposed to be transparent with some white stars on them. And I kind of forgot on the first page, and I just, well, basically forgot to add highlights to the first page, so I went back to it and added the highlights. The bright highlights, because I can't add highlights when I do the shading, but then I add some white, pure whites, kind of everywhere, to truly add some life to the picture. And well, I am done coloring the first 3 pages. So this is basically the prologue of my comic, and I truly hope I find the courage and the motivation to finish it. Thank you for watching. Once again, if you want to see the rest of the story, leave a comment. Thank you again, and I'll see you in my next video.